10 things you'd never have believed at the start of the 2021 season. The F1 season may have ended in controversy, but that is not how 2021 should be remembered, as it was definitely one of the greatest F1 seasons ever. So let's take a look back at some of the craziest moments of this wild old season. McLaren were the only team to get a 1-2. Yep, this stat really does blow my mind. Mercedes and Red Bull had a combined 51 podiums between them, but not a 1-2 in sight. McLaren were quick out of the box in pre-season testing, and Lando Norris's podiums in Imola, Monaco and Austria only seemed to confirm that they were a fighting force this season. Raw speed, a new Mercedes power unit and a little bit of luck along the way might have helped. However, as Norris flourished, Ricardo floundered, and race by race he only seemed to struggle more getting to grips with the McLaren. That was until Monza, where it all went right. Both Papaya cars qualified in the top 5, and thanks to Bottas's engine penalty and a solid sprint race from the McLarens, they started 2nd and 3rd. With nothing to lose, Ricardo overtook Verstappen at the start and held him off. Slow pit stops, Verstappen and Hamilton's collision, and a safety car restart helped Ricardo maintain his lead as Norris jumped back up the order to bring home McLaren's first 1-2 finish since Canada in 2010. Ocon would win a race. At the Hungarian Grand Prix, Esteban Ocon started 8th with Alonso behind in 9th, and the pair could only watch as Bottas's late braking triggered a multi-car pile-up. Starting from the pits on slicks at the restart allowed Ocon to take the lead, as Hamilton was forced to pit after being the only driver to do the restart. It's lights out and away we go for Lewis Hamilton only. That Crofty commentary sticks with me. From there, Ocon kept his nerve ahead of a chasing Sebastian Vettel as his teammate Fernando Alonso fought like a lion to hold off Hamilton towards the end. Inconsistent stewarding. Wait, who put this one? No one was surprised by this. Get rid of it. Sainz outscoring Leclerc. Not a fanboy, just passionate? As Perez, Ricardo and Vettel all struggled to get to grips with their new cars, Sainz kept up with Leclerc from the start. When a driveshaft issue forced his pole-sitter teammate out of the Monaco Grand Prix, Sainz brought his Ferrari home for a first podium with the team and added 2 more podiums in Hungary and Russia. Adapting quickly to his new team, his consistency and a handy 3rd place in the final race in Abu Dhabi allowed him to jump his teammate and former teammate Norris to 5th in the championship. Definitely one of the drivers of the season. Russell would get a podium. You wait 3 seasons for points and then a podium springs up. Mr. Saturday put on the qualifying performance of his life in Belgium. Capitalising on his rival's struggles in the extreme rain, Russell by some miracle slotted himself onto the front row. Delayed and eventually stopped due to the unsafe conditions, only 2 laps were completed behind the safety car, allowing Russell to bring home his first F1 podium and Williams' first since Azerbaijan in 2017. Aston Martin were pretty bad. Goodbye Racing Point, hello Aston Martin. Pre-season Lawrence Stroll's team were the talk of the town, dropping Perez to sign Vettel and having their sights set on 3rd in the championship, with more to come. They were bigging themselves up as future world champions, and that really did backfire on them, didn't it? For now, at least. A distant 7th in the standings on 77 points, trailing behind the likes of Alpine and AlphaTauri, where did it all go wrong? Considering how much money Daddy Stroll is putting into the whole project, building new facilities and expanding its workforce, they'll be hoping this season was just a bump in the road. F1 would race at a MotoGP track. We'd learned from last season that swapping and changing tracks was the name of the game considering the pandemic, with the return of the Nürburgring, Portimao and Imola. However, all of those tracks had either previously hosted Grand Prix or were designed with F1 in mind. So the announcement that we'd be racing on the MotoGP circuit in Qatar 2 months later instead of Australia left us all wondering what on earth is going on here. The Losail International Circuit hadn't hosted a single-seater race since GP2 Asia in 2009 and wasn't really built for F1 cars. There were some hiccups, bumps and curb problems, but we were pleasantly surprised by the racing it produced. Norris beats Ricardo. Before the season began, plenty of us were hedging our bets that 7-time race winner Daniel Ricciardo was going to solidly beat Lando Norris over the season. Having seen off the likes of Nico Hülkenberg, a four-time champion in Sebastian Vettel, and been more than a match for Max Verstappen, Ricardo's reputation was pretty solid going to McLaren. By comparison, Norris was only in his third F1 season and had a single podium to his name. A series of solid performances, but lacked the consistency to assert himself as top dog at McLaren against Sainz. Podiums in Imola, Monaco and Austria saw him spend most of the early part of the season in the top 3 or 4 in the championship, and Norris took his first F1 pole in Russia too. Meanwhile, his teammates' performances went up and down, side to side, like a roller coaster, failing to reach Q3 on 9 occasions. Danny Ric got a step up next year. Kubica would return. Giga Kubica was back. Forget Nico Hülkenberg, the super sub was here. We'd seen more than a fair share of switches last season, including 3 at the Sakir Grand Prix, but nobody could have expected that Kimi Raikkonen would be forced to miss 2 races in his final season after testing positive for COVID-19. Stepping into Raikkonen's car for the Dutch and Italian Grand Prix, it was great to see the Alfa Romeo reserve driver back on track. Robert Kubica finished 15th in Zandvoort and 14th in Monza, just behind his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, which was an incredibly solid performance. Well done, Robert. We'd get a title fight. For once, the racing gods answered our prayers and gave us a blockbuster battle that was worth the wait. From the moment the cars hit the track in Bahrain, it was clear that F1's battle of a generation was here. Whether it was collisions in Silverstone and Monza, tyre blowouts in Baku, or controversial stewarding decisions in Brazil, Jeddah or Abu Dhabi, the battle has had drama everywhere. The fact that the championship fight wasn't even decided at the checkered flag only added to the unpredictability and has left F1 with plenty of unanswered questions. There you have it, a look into some of the craziest moments of this 2021 season. What was your favourite? Let us know in the comment section below.